Okay, welcome to Eloquent JavaScript, a modern introduction to programming, 3rd edition. Chapter 2, Program Structure. Problem number 1, write a program using a loop that prints the following. A right triangle shaped up of sharp characters. So let's begin. So in order to print this right triangle, I'm gonna need a string. So I'm gonna start by initializing the string variable. Use the let keyword. I'm gonna name my string as str and set it equal to an empty string, quotes. After that, I want to use a loop. So I'm gonna start with for let I equal to 0, and I want to set I less than the number of rows of this right triangle. So this right triangle has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. So I less than 7, and for every iteration I plus plus as if I'm incrementing I by 1. So since I'm using this loop for rows, let me comment this for loop corresponding to the rows. And after that, since I have columns that have different number of sharp characters, I'm gonna need another loop. So I'm gonna use another for loop. So for loop corresponding to the columns. Okay. So let me just call this one R as for rows. So R less than 7, R plus plus. And then here, another for loop. Inside it, let C equal. I'm gonna set it to I plus 1, C less than 0, and for every iteration C minus minus, decrementing the value of C by 1. And in here, inside the for column, I should add 1 sharp character to my string. So str equal str plus the sharp character, like that. And instead of using this operation and instead of using this operation, I can use str, a shorthand operator, plus equal, and the character sharp, like that. So every time I'm in a new column, I add str with the sharp character. And in here, print the row. So console.log for s, and as if I got to a new line. After getting to a new line, I should reinitialize the string to an empty string. So str equal to quotes. Okay, so basically I'm done. So let me just put as if I want to print one row. So let me run it. First let me save this. To run it I go here, run and debug. It should work. Okay, in case it didn't work, I should go up here to the terminal and new terminal and to the debug console. What's going on here? Okay, I is not defined. So where's the I? Here. So I should use R plus 1. S is not defined. STR. Okay, didn't print anything. Put R less than 2. Printed empty statements. For let R equals 0, R less than 2, R plus plus. I got inside the loop. Let's C equal R plus 1. C less than 0, C minus minus. After that, goes to my column loop. Let C equal R plus 1. So C here is 1. C more than 0. C minus minus. So if I run it, it should work. Okay. First, let me start at one row. So run and debug. Run and debug. Okay, it just printed one row. So R equals 0. I started at 0. In here, it checked my condition. My condition is true, so it entered the row loop. At the row loop, it started with a column loop. So it initialized C equal R plus 1. C equals 0 plus 1. So C equal 1. C is more than 0, true, and C minus minus. So C is equal to 1. Since this condition is true, the statements are executed. In here I just added a sharp character to str. When I'm done, it iterated up C minus minus, so C became from 1 to 0. It rechecked the condition. This time the condition is false because C is not more than 0. So this for loop is terminated. Moving on, console.log str, it printed the string str and reinitialized the string to an empty string. So this loop is done. Because here R was 0, R plus plus, now R is 1. And this condition is false because R is not less than 1. So the program is finished. Now in here, if I set R less than 2, it printed 2 rows. So the first time when R was 0, C was initialized with the value of 1. C more than 0, true. It executed, added a sharp character to str. Then it decremented C by 1. So C is now 0. Checked the condition of the for loop again. This time the condition is false because C is not more than 0. and it proceeded after the column loop. It printed str, started a new line, and initialized str to an empty string. So it printed this row before proceeding to a new line, before printing the second row. Now in the second row, r is now equal to 1, because r was 0, now r is 1. It went down back to the column loop. So now c is equal to r, 1 plus 1. So now c is equal to 2. C more than 0, true. And it added the first sharp character to s. After that, c minus minus. So now c is equal to 1. It checked the condition, 1 more than 0, yes. And it added another sharp character to str. So now str is 2 sharp characters. After that, now c is equal to 0, from 1 to 0, and this condition became false because c is no longer more than 0. That's how it proceeded. It printed str on a new line and reinitialized str to an empty string. Now going back up, r was incremented by 1, so now r was 1, now 2. It rechecked the condition false because r is no longer less than 2, and this for loop is terminated. So now the program is finished. Let me just add a statement here, console.log, and print, just to print program finished. Let me run it one more time. Here, program finished. So after str was printed the second time, it terminated this for loop because this condition became false, and the compiler proceeded and executed this statement, which shows us that the program is finished. Okay, I talked a lot. So let me check again for this exercise. Now this exercise wants me to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 rows. So I set R to 7, run and debug, and it successfully printed my right triangle. And yeah, that's the exercise. That's how we use a loop in order to print the following triangle.